The Arizona Cardinals coming off an amazing win against the Seattle Seahawks this Sunday Night Football. When there was a lot of people that doubted the Arizona Cardinals, they ended up coming up clutch, beating the Seattle Seahawks 37-34 on an amazing overtime field goal by Zane Gonzalez. Now, there's a lot of things to dive into today, a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, but nevertheless, we can go ahead and celebrate Victory Monday, guys. Go ahead and roll that intro. All right, guys, welcome back in. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, I wanted to talk a little bit about Arizona Cardinals versus the Seattle Seahawks. Roller coaster of a ride, Sunday Night Football. Now, when I think of this game, I honestly think of the perfect game to watch on a Sunday night. It was back and forth, very competitive, always on your toes. It seemed like Seattle Seahawks were going to win, the Cardinals were going to win, and it seemed like that whole thing with missing field goals, at least on the Arizona Cardinals side, happened again. Last time we had a primetime game on Sunday Night Football was against the Seattle Seahawks when we ended up tying 6-6. Terrible game, but this one pretty much leaps and bounds, beat that game out of the water, and I'm super happy to go ahead and talk about this game today. Before we get started, let's go ahead and do our due diligence here. If you're new, please consider subscribing to the AZ Sports Fan on YouTube. Now, obviously, I am not in my studio. I am still in the process of selling my house, so this is what we're going to have to deal with at the moment, guys. Now, I know there's a lot of people that want me to talk about Patrick Peterson. Did he lose a step? But because it was really apparent that he couldn't basically match up with Tyler Lockett. Now, keep in mind, Tyler Lockett is a speedy wide receiver. When Patrick Peterson was covering him, I don't know if he could cover him any better than pretty much laying on top of him. Now, Russell Wilson is known for having a really good moon ball, where it's pretty much coming out of the sky and dropping right in the basket of the wide receiver. Now, Tyler Lockett and Russell Wilson have this connection with them themselves, so I don't blame Patrick Peterson all that much. I just think it's kind of really unfortunate that Russell Wilson is just that good. Now, most of the time, Patrick Peterson was on DK Metcalf, so I think he did a pretty good job in maintaining DK Metcalf. Now, I think that we're struggling to find a cornerback to fill that opposite role, to take over that second cornerback. Now, I think it's possibly time at this point for maybe Byron Murphy to take that next step, because being that we have Drake Kirkpatrick, he's not cutting the cheese at this point. I'm getting kind of tired of seeing him get burned time and time after again. So maybe it might be some time to get Byron Murphy out of the slot and put him on the outside and see what he can go ahead and do. I think our defense did all we can pretty much do against an MVP type of quarterback in Russell Wilson. He didn't throw very many interceptions coming into that game, and he threw 3 interceptions against our defense, which was really amazing, but nothing was better than watching Budda Baker getting his second career interception in the end zone and pretty much almost taking it to the promised land, giving us 6 points. But it was really crazy and kind of amazing to see DK Metcalf coming out of nowhere, sprinting like he was the Terminator. It was really awesome. But I mean, awesome more for the Seahawks fans more than the Arizona Cardinals fans. But it's just amazing the type of speed that such a big-bodied individual like DK Metcalf has to catch up to Budda Baker. Now, the unfortunate part about that circumstance here, after Budda Baker ended up going down, we didn't even get points out of that drive. Now, this is going to be a controversial play call that Cliff Kingsbury had when he ended up, running the ball twice and then running the ball with Kyler Murray, and then having a questionable play call going for it on 4th down. Now, personally, people were going to ask me up and down, do I think that was the right play call? At that very moment, there was a moment of me saying we need to go for it. Now, we were sitting about the 3 or the 4 at this point. I don't like the play call that Cliff Kingsbury came up with at 4th down, because it was obvious it got blown up real quick and Kyler Murray just threw it out of the end zone. I do think it was a smart idea for Cliff Kingsbury to go for that 4th down to get a touchdown. At that point in the game, it didn't seem like our defense was able to maintain Russell Wilson, so I think that was a big factor as to why Cliff Kingsbury went for that 4th down. Now, obviously, it's going to be, hindsight at this point. If we end up making that and we get a touchdown, he's the best, head coach out there. Obviously, that he missed it, everybody's going to question him. They're going to ask, what's going on? Why are you doing this? We should have gone for the 3 points. Now, it's going to work both ways, so we gotta have to go ahead and take it with a grain of salt at this point, being that he ended up going for it and it just kind of ended up biting him in the butt, because we didn't get any points out of that amazing amazing Buda Baker interception. Nevertheless, I don't disagree with the aggression of going for that fourth down. I just kind of debate that play call specifically. Now, I think there was a moment for a split 2 to 3 seconds that Larry Fitzgerald was open in the end zone. Now, it's really up to Kyler Murray to pull the trigger and throw that ball to Larry Fitzgerald, because I think he could have got a touchdown. But I just don't think that he was really familiar with the play or whatever the situation was. But I did see Larry Fitzgerald, I believe it was on the right side of the field, kind of doing this kind of like going out of the end zone type of thing. And he could have gotten that ball if Kyler Murray just threw the ball to him, but I don't think he felt comfortable enough to do so. Now, watching this game, I found myself saying we need to start Chase Edmonds more. I feel like he needs to be the starter. It seems like he's playing with more burst, more passion, especially because he's more of a dual threat type running back, being able to catch out of the backfield and pretty much going north all the time and finding those holes that I wish Kenyon Drake was able to find like he did last year. Now, it all kind of came to an abruption where Kenyon Drake seemed to be really, really hurt throughout the game, but I think something big really happened because he ended up getting carted away. Now, I don't quite know exactly what happened with Kenyon Drake. I think we're going to be waiting for the news to figure out exactly what went wrong with him and if he's going to be done for the season, if it's just a few games. I still think it's important for Kenyon Drake to be a part of this team, just not that #1 role. Now, at that point, if we figure out that he's going to be out for the season, then obviously the Arizona Cardinals need to figure out what they're going to do with the running back position, because yes, Chase Edmonds, I do want him as a #1, but we still need to get some solid options as a #2 or a #3, just so whenever he needs to get some rest and basically sit out a couple plays. But I think it's very important to find out what happened to Kenyon Drake. I don't wish any bad things for any players. I hope him well if he is going to be gone for the rest of the season. I hope he's speedy recovery for him and coming back strong whenever he does sign with a new team next year. But we'll see. We're still waiting for the MRI. It's still the morning, as you cannot tell already. The reason why I have my sunglasses on because I look tired as heck. Couldn't sleep last night. I was so amped up about this game that I was just constantly thinking, this amazing game that happened, and it was going back and forth. But we ended up, going toe-to-toe with the Seattle Seahawks. Now, looking at, the Sunday Night Football telecast, watching channel, I think it was NBC that I was watching it on, and everybody had the Seattle Seahawks winning, and rightfully so. I mean, I think they have more of a track record to prove that they're going to win this game time and time after again. Now, they've been beating us in our home field for quite some time, which is really, really frustrating. But honestly, I think the truth of the matter here is that the Arizona Cardinals ended up going toe-to-toe with the Seattle Seahawks, and they ended up winning in a clutch kick by Zane Gonzalez. And nevertheless, I'm just really excited about being 5-2, going into our bye week, and next looking at the Miami Dolphins and seeing what they can do. They've got some exciting things coming up. We got Tua Tagovailoa most likely going to play against the Miami Dolphins, so that's definitely really exciting. So I want to go ahead and note that Kyler Murray had a really good game as well. After Patrick Peterson ended up getting an interception in the end zone when there was a moon ball thrown to DK, but I think it was just overthrown by Russell Wilson. Kyler Murray ended up overthrowing another ball just right after that drive happened. He ended up giving it right back, and that was really unfortunate. I think he still needs to work on those balls to kind of start sailing on him. I think he's gotten better as far as throwing the ball and running. I feel like he was a mad dual threat this time around. I think Russell Wilson had more rushing yards than Kyler Murray did, but Kyler Murray got it going through the air, which is definitely something that I couldn't ask for better. I think he had 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and I believe he also had a rushing touchdown. So kudos to Kyler Murray, but also got to give kudos to the Seattle Seahawks. They're a really dominant team. They were favored to win this game, and rightfully so. We're playing in our hometown, and I believe the last 5 to 6 years in State Farm Stadium, they ended up beating us time and time again, and I think that's why a lot of people were thinking that they were going to win. But man, this was a really good game from the start to the end. Yes, there was some questionable calls. Yes, there was times I was pulling out my hair, but nevertheless, the Arizona Cardinals are now sitting 5-2 on the season. Guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you're new, please consider subscribing to the AZ Sports Fan on YouTube. That's all I got for this episode, guys. Thank you so very much, and I'm out. Thank you.